and answer any questions that you may be stuck on. Today I got my guy Burton. Man, your setup is nice, man. How you
Yeah,
doing?
no, I thank you. It's what I call the IKEA setup, right? I'm
Yeah,
doing really well, man. How are you doing?
awesome. I can't complain. Man, I love when we come together, man, to provide so much value to the people.
I agree.
We just put this event out yesterday. 56 people signed up for it, literally at the last minute. So I
What's going on,
appreciate
guys?
everybody. We got people from California, Nick from the DMV, Wayne from DFW. Come on, guys. Uh, do me a favor if you love Propstream, man. Just go some emojis in there, throw some emojis. Uh, hit the like button, hit the heart eyes. Calvin, Texas, in here, man. There's a lot of people here today, man. So appreciate it, man. I thank you to my team, especially thank you to Apple, who really stepped up while a few of my employees are out sick, to really put this event on at the last minute. But I just felt like a lot of people are not using PropStream to the best of their ability. So we want to make sure that people understand the new updates, how to use it, how to take it and get deals, what the best list to pull, how to aggregate data in a way that Burton does it.
Absolutely. I think those are some great points, and I'm going to agree with you 100%. I believe that our system's not being thoroughly used by most of our users, or they just don't see most of the tools that are available. So I'm happy that we're here to hopefully clear the fog up. I also want to announce we did just launch a free academy. It's not training anybody on real estate. It's more just training you about our applications, a free academy. If you guys want to join, we really want you to learn our application so that it doesn't become a hindrance as you perform your day-to-day business in real estate. So thanks for having me here today.
Awesome. So I let you take it away, man. Guys, if you have questions, drop your questions in the comments. If you raise your hand, maybe there's a particular question. We can invite you to the stage to get your questions answered in real time.
I agree. So let's get started. Let's just a quick overview as not overview. I'm sorry, an outline of what our system can do. This is just again for those that are watching this that have heard about PropStream or maybe are just using it for one or the other thing. Let me hopefully share with you guys what our system can really do here. So let me get my screen over here, and I believe I have it. So let me just get this out of the way. The first thing I want to share with you guys is this outline here. So let's take a look at this. So for those that don't know, our system, in my personal opinion, covers two major aspects of real estate investing. The first aspect is generating leads. You got to have leads in order to talk to homeowners and potentially get a contract signed, right? So lead generation is one important aspect of real estate investing. Whether you're an agent, a wholesaler, a lender, whatever real estate business you're in that requires data, you need leads, right? So part of our system is lead generation, and we've broken that up into three parts. You can just build the list and just export the data. That's what we call part one, or I call part one, build the list. Part two, skip tracing. You can actually skip trace with Propstream if you'd like and export the data. So addresses and then the phone numbers, landlines, and emails as well.
True.
The second
So how
part of
can I
your
see that? Can
business
you send me the
is when
link?
those leads call you back. Now, by having
Ready.
the property
Okay.
details, the
Ano sabi mo
financial
ulit?
information,
Naka?
and the situational
Okay
stuff,
na.
like the
Sige.
title issues,
Okay,
like if
sige.
it has a
Bye-bye.
lien or a pre-foreclosure or bankruptcy, or if it failed on the market. It's what we call the homeowner situation. That's the opportunity. It's to be able to look at all of that stuff together right away and know what's the real reason they called you back, right? Find that pain point. And once you find the pain point, then you can use our exact system to look at public records to run comps or MLS records to run comps, because you're going to need to justify your offer. You're usually never buying properties at full price unless that's your thing. So you need to explain why. And you can show them what full price properties look like. You can show them what as-is properties are selling for using our comps. And you can even print those reports. That's our system. Two major aspects: generate leads, market to them, and then we vet them within Propstream and calculate their value using the comp section. Some other additional features are the mobile app for those driving for dollars, list team members, and list automator. List automator allows you to do part one, build a list, and then automate that list, meaning anytime we have a new record with that exact criteria, we'll just add it to your list for you. So you don't have to search that list anymore. So you can build like 5 different marketing lists and automate all 5. And as new records come in, we'll just put them in the right marketing list that they belong into, right? Also, we'll remove any old records. So if you have a list of 1,000 properties and you're asking for off-market properties and 10 of them go on market, we'll remove them from your list. That's the cool thing about List Automator. This is what we have to offer. Now, let me show you exactly what we carry in our server, meaning our data. This right here is the data that we have in our server that you have access to. Your subscription, and make sure you guys click on Antoine's link because you're going to get a discount price, 7-day trial, and 50 free leads. But this is what you'll have access to. Residential, commercial, industrial, vacant land, and a bunch of other data that we've collected from a multitude of different providers, like tax assessors information, open mortgage information, pre-foreclosures, on-market records, MLS history, meaning sold comps, so you can run comps or look at the failed listings, and our very new pre-probate records, only found in Propstream. But these are properties where someone's passed away and their name is still attached to a property. These are the type of records that you have access to. So just want to kind of lay out the land really quick, what our system can do, what type of data we have sitting in our server over the last 15 years. And now let's actually show you how you can apply all of that in Propstream. So here's Propstream. When you first log in, we'll give you like a what's new pop-up of all the stuff that I just pretty much went over, the academy, the extra features, and I do weekly trainings if you guys want to join us. But when you hit close, the cool thing about Propstream is that we don't region lock you. You can actually search anywhere in the United States of America. Now, instead of starting with lead generation, I'd like to start with the property details. And I think this is an aspect that many people use within Propstream. And so for those that don't know how to run a comp or realize the type of details that we have, let me show you. So I'm located in Southern California. And if we time travel, back in the day, if someone were to call any of us to sell their property, we either did 2 things. Go on a scavenger hunt to find all the records of that property, right? Go to the county, go to a realtor, see if we can get mortgage information somewhere, right? Because there's no internet back in the days, right? There's no technology, so we had to go physically capture that. That's one route we took. The other route is we asked more questions. How old's your property? When's the last time you did this and that? How many beds and bathrooms? Do you have a mortgage? Those are the 2 options that we would take, right? Well, we saw that as a potential hindrance to your business, potentially stopping you from getting more leads, is the fact that you have to now take the time to go on that scavenger hunt or ask more questions, which could potentially lose your credibility and your lead, right? So the goal was to go get that data I just showed you and put it together. So for the first time ever, a Southern California kid like me can send out a postcard in a different state, different county, even in my own area. Let's say we sent it out to Memphis, Tennessee. I can now go to Tennessee, right? And then zoom into Memphis and just click on a property. Because one of the data that we collect is parcel records. So as you can see, I can see all the parcels here. I can just click on a property and now immediately know everything about that property in a click of a button. That's their details page. And this is what has made Propstream very, very popular in a sense in the real estate world, is because we're doing the scavenger hunt for you. And this very page that I'm staring at is our property details page, which over 153 million records in Propstream have access to, or you have access to. So whether it was that property or maybe a property down the block over here, when you click on it, you're going to be able to see the same format, but no 2 properties are the same. So the first thing I'd like to show you guys is just how it's laid out. We're going to give you our dashboard, which is just a series of all of our data down below, such as the owner's information, property characteristics, building size, land location information. So what we did was we took some of the important stuff and plopped it up here, like the beds and bathrooms, square footage, and so forth. We've even put the Google Maps image on here, so you can click on the little picture, gives you a bigger image. You can drag the Google person and take a look at the property at ground level, take a look at the neighbors. Maybe we should call the neighbor as well. Look at the neighbor, looks boarded up, right? So this is the power of bringing that data together. Right? Back in the day, you couldn't do this. We had to go physically go out there. As a matter of fact, this is in a different state, so I would have never been able to do this. But now I'm able to not only see the property at ground view, take a look at the neighbors, potentially use that information to my advantage, right? Hey, I see your neighbor has his windows boarded up. What's going on? Yeah, the house has been that way. And, we're looking to move out. That house always gets broken into. We have kids, whatever the situation is. We want to get out of here. That's the motivation. And it had nothing to do with being in a lien or pre-foreclosure. It's just the neighbors, right? Or the home next door. So that's the power of having that data together. It could have been that neighbor, that neighboring home with the boarded up house. It could have been that the property is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom property and their family is growing and they need to now upgrade to a bigger property. It could be that the property is nearly 80 years old or over 80 years old. And it just now is showing its true colors. It's falling apart. And the homeowners want to get out of there. They don't have the luxury to rehab it or keep it up to date. So this is the benefit of having that information without asking them anymore. Hey, how old is your property? Expecting them to know this information. I can now start implying different questions like, hey, I see your property is 80 years old. When's the last time you did the roof? Instead of asking them, the question now completely is changed because I have that data. The data can also help you build rapport at the end of the day, like knowing what school district that property is in. Hey, by chance, did you go to Shelby County School District? Oh, you did? Yeah, you played sports? Great. What sport? And then you go from there. Right? So just having this is not just for you to know, it's for you to talk about and build that credibility, which is the key component when you're negotiating. Building credibility, building that rapport to extract what the motivation is, whether it's the property's details, whether it's the property size or the amount of bedrooms, whether it's that neighbor that we just saw. Maybe it's the tax information here that maybe it's the taxes that keep climbing every year is the reason they want to sell. Maybe they have a mortgage or, they don't. Maybe they just want to sell the property, or maybe there is a mortgage. This is where you would find it right here in our mortgage area. And then you can also purchase other documents and reports. So the whole idea is this. I tell every user, when you're in the conversation stage, when someone calls you and says, hey, I got your postcard, I got your voicemail, or they send you a text message and they show some sign of interest, search the property and go into the details of that property and talk to them while you're on this page. Because now I can talk to Mr. Riddell about his 70-year-old building. Maybe he wants to move out because his kids have gone to college and he doesn't need those 4 bedrooms anymore. So this is the whole point of our data coming together. So you can use it to build confidence, to build credibility, talk with confidence, and then hopefully find what the real level of motivation is. Now, once you find that motivation, whatever it may be, it could be the taxes, it could be in this scenario, having multiple properties that they're dealing with. Maybe they're just tired of doing that. Comparables and nearby listings is probably the last place you're going to go to in our property details. So now that we've found the motivation, we have the homeowner on the phone, you're going to need to make an offer. And so in this area, you're going to have the ability to use public records, MLS records, or both. And that's just the first box called comparables. So these are just what's sold. We have a flip comps box. This will show you any property that was bought and then sold less than 2 years. And here's one right here off Gabby Street. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property. It was bought this year in February for $36,000. And then someone sold it a month later for $55,000. I just made a quick little gain of $19,000 right there. So this is just showing you if anybody's in this area flipping a property within 2 years after purchasing it. We'll show you the neighbors in case they want to use a neighbor as an example. My neighbor down the street sold his house for so-and-so. Well, your neighbor down the street has a much smaller or bigger bedroom or property than yours. Cash that goes for any property that you click on. That's again, the power of having that data, us doing the scavenger hunt, is now for the first time ever, I can market anywhere in the United States. When someone calls you, you can click on the parcel or type in an address, like a property I did here in Mission Viejo, my neighborhood. And then from there, I can go into the details, talk to the homeowner with confidence. Once I figure out that they're ready for an offer, comparables and nearby listings is where I go to run my comps. And again, you have 4 categories of comps. We just went over that, but everybody typically uses the comparable page. And what I like about that is, again, public records and MLS records. Public records are on and off market transactions that are recorded. So not every property sells through an agent. A lot of properties are being bought in cash right now privately because maybe these buyers don't want to pay that commission cost. So public record shows you foreclosure sales, auction sales, family transfers, private cash transactions, as well as MLS transactions. So that's the county records. MLS is just properties that sold through a realtor, or you can use them both. Now, the thing I want to talk about in terms of comping is time after time, I see a lot of our users try to find a perfect number. Right? They're trying to find this exact ARV after repair value, this perfect number to then calculate, their calculations from that number. Don't make it so complicated. It's not about finding a perfect number. It's about, can I justify my offer? Like, I'm about to offer 70%. I'm about to offer 60%. Okay, great. But can you justify why you're doing that? Like, why you're going to offer 70%? Right? Is it because you're just going to offer 70%, or is there a reason to that? And I think that's what the comping is really designed for, is that you need to justify your offer. Pardon me. So in this case, I'm going to look for comps maybe in the last 8 months, starting this year, that are the same characteristics: 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, just like our subject property. You can put year built, square footages. I'm just going to look for sold MLS listings and properties that have been approved and financed with a 30-year loan. These are usually the rehab properties. Now, if I wanted to see an as-is property, I could see cash transactions if I wanted to. But here are your filters. Then you can increase or decrease your distance. Maybe a half a mile is too much, so a quarter mile is all you need. And finally, apples to apples. So if you're running comps on a single family property like the subject property we're looking at here in California, then make sure you choose residential single family property. And running comps, again, guys, is not about finding a perfect number. It's about, hey, I see there's a house very similar, right? Literally almost very similar, slightly bigger in lot size. Square footage is just 4 feet more bigger, but that property sold for $860. Now I have a line that's drawn, which is properties in this condition, this characteristic, are selling for $860. What does that $860 look like? Here it is. You're going to be able to see the image, and that's the cool thing of having that data. That $860,000 comp is a renovated comp. And I'm going to bet you that the house that you're probably working on or trying to buy or negotiate, it is not a renovated comp, right? It's not a renovated property. It's probably fallen apart. There's probably leaks everywhere. So now you're able to justify your offer. When you make your offer, you're not offering that $860,000. You're going to offer 70%, 80% of that. And that's ultimately how comps should be utilized is, okay, I'm about to make an offer. I need to justify, because that homeowner is going to probably rebuttal, probably going to say, I'm not happy with your offer. And now I have to show them why I made that offer. So I'm going to pull out that $860,000 comp with the similar characteristics. Here's one with 4.2. Similar characteristics. Let's pull that one off. And another one, 4.2.5. We'll choose that one right here as well. And what you can do with Propstream is print out our report. And this is the powerful thing right here, to generate a comps report. Because what this will allow you to do is justify your offer. So again, it's not about finding a perfect number. It's never been about that. As a matter of fact, even if you try to find a perfect number, it's not like you're going to buy it at that number anyways. So why are you doing that? It's about justifying your offer. And in this case, I can do that. Here's the subject property with the subject property's characteristics. Here's the low, high, and average value of the comps in this area based on my filtered comps. So you can see the characteristics are the same across the board, just like our subject property. Where they're located. And now when I make that offer 60, 70% and the homeowner says, I'm not happy with that offer, I can explain to them that the reason I'm not giving them the 860 or the 865 or the 910 is because their house doesn't look like any of those properties. That's the power of the data. Is now I can show them those pictures. I can say, I'd love to give you 860. I highly believe your property is worth more than that. But the properties that sold for that amount are in this condition. And I believe your house is about 70% from that condition. That's why I'm making that 70% offer, right? Whatever that offer amount is. So it's not about finding a perfect number. Is can you justify whatever the number is that you're about to give them, right? And that's the vetting property part of Propstream. Every property in Propstream you can click on and go into our details, and that's the layout. So that's one huge aspect of Propstream, is getting that detail immediately, the property details, the financial details, the homeowner situation, to be able to talk upon it and find the real motivation, and then to be able to justify your offer without pissing anybody off is ultimately the key. Okay. So before I go on to the next part, do we have any questions regarding that, Antoine? Do you see any questions in the audience? I think I see any at all.
Yeah, I don't see any questions yet, but I'm pretty sure they're going to start coming in. Drop your questions.
All right, guys. So the next part of Propstream is the other avenue. Is okay, Burton, thanks for showing me how you would, pull a property's detail, a potential lead, and run comps on it. But what if I don't have a lead? Well, we got you covered, guys. Again, another aspect of Propstream is using that same data that we just looked at on an individual property, but on a larger scale. So I can go, and I saw someone put DFW in the chat earlier. So I can go to Dallas, right, Fort Worth, and just search all of the city in that environment. So rather than an individual property in this market, let me search the entire city. And from there, we're going to give you all the records that are in our server in that city. So these are the 360,000 records that we've collected from these providers, so that you're able to see the MLS listings that we've collected on your behalf, the properties in pre-foreclosures, the properties that have an auction date, the properties that are now in foreclosure. So this is generating a lead. You search a market, you can now go through any of these records, or to make life easier for you, we do have a filter just to the right of the search engine. So after you populate your city or your county or your zip code, you can go into our filter and start building your leads. Now, this might get a little confusing, so I hope I don't get too confusing, but there's actually two ways to pull a list in Propstream. And the list, the way that I want to show you is, let me show you actually a PowerPoint here, but this is it. There's the traditional method, which is you're pulling a list first, and then you make sure it's off market because you don't want to deal with the agent, I suppose. Then you're going to add your equity so you can get that assignment fee. And then you're going to add your property and owner characteristics, because what you want and what I want versus the next investor, it's all different. So that's the traditional method. And everybody, I believe, is doing that as we speak now, where we'll go to Dallas for this example, jump into our filter, and just like the PowerPoint showed us, we're going to choose a list. So let's say it's our new list, the pre-probate. So show us all the properties where someone has passed away, but their name is still attached to the deed. So here are the 1,600 properties in that scenario. Now, I still need to do those three other things. The second thing after picking a list is make sure it's off market. So I can now go to our MLS area here and select off market. So these are the basic filters most investors are using. So choose your list, make sure it's off market. Once you do that, you can go into our valuation and equity area and apply that minimum level of equity. Maybe it's a 30%, maybe it's 40%, 45%, 50%, whatever it may be. And the final rule, again, is your property and owner characteristics. So pick a list, pre-probate. It's off market, check. Equity, 30% or more, or 40% or more in this example. And now I add my property and owner preferences or characteristics. So back to the top, I would like a non-owner occupied property, perhaps. Maybe the owners are occupying the property. Maybe it's vacant and no one's answering their mail. We'll let you decide. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you want both. Your property characteristics. So here you can distinguish between residential, commercial, add your beds and bathrooms, year built, numbers of stories, whether it's in an HOA or not. So maybe you're just looking for 2 to 4 bedrooms only. Once you're done with that, and let's do single family, you have the pre-foreclosure, foreclosure filters you can apply. So essentially, this is what we call list stacking, adding more motivation, if you will. Ownership info. This is very powerful because now you can specify years of ownership. Owner type, like is it owned by an individual or an LLC? Numbers of properties, so you might be able to identify someone who has more than one property and maybe they need help selling all of them. Once you're done applying your ownership info, for this example, we'll do individual. And how about maybe 5 years of ownership or more? Actually, you know what? This is pre-probate. So as long as it has 40%, we won't need the years of ownership. They're probably in need of some help. After the ownership info, the last 2 categories you have access to are liens, bankruptcy, and divorce filters. So just like the pre-foreclosure area, we can stack more motivation. And finally, you have the mortgage area. This may not seem like a powerful filter, but it could be. Like, how about a person who's passed away, their name is on the title, but there was a mortgage still attached to that property. That could be burdensome to the children or to the spouse that's left with that property. So what I've just done here is the traditional search. We grabbed a list, made sure it's off market, has a minimum amount of equity, and then added our property and owner characteristics. Once we did that, we finally yielded 49 results in this market here. 49 very powerful results. Now with Propstream's lead generation, this is just step 1, as I was telling you guys, or part 1, because now I can check off my 49 results and add it to a list. So we can call it Dallas pre-probate, hit the save button, and this is just one of many steps of Propstream. As I showed you guys earlier, what we just did right now was just searched and filtered. I'm saving the list as we speak. Now we can export it and just walk away with these addresses and property characteristics. Or within Propstream, we can actually skip trace it here on the left-hand side. Simply just click on skip tracing and proceed with the 3 steps, or run a campaign. We can establish an auction campaign, a buyer's campaign, a pre-probate campaign. You can have as many active campaigns as you like. The whole idea is that when you create a marketing list, you should probably create a separate campaign for that list, right? Don't try to mix 2 different marketing lists into one campaign. So for this example, I have an auctions campaign with 75 addresses, and I get a complimentary website. So it's a landing page that says, we buy houses, we close in 30 days because you're in an auction. And so fill out this information if you need my help. And once you create that complimentary website, if you want to or not, you can then send out that postcard, that voicemail, or that email. Now remember, you can create more than one campaign. Like I have an auctions campaign, I have a buyer's campaign, a high equity vacant campaign. for example, my buyers.
Quick question. I never knew about the email part of Propstream. Could you actually email like buyers? Do you got the data for that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like my Riverside buyers right over here with 17 of them, I created a landing page that says, hey, how would you guys like a contract instead, right? The first one was, how would we buy properties in cash. This one's, how would you guys like to make money? But to your point, yeah, once I create a landing page, if I wanted to or not, I can click on email marketing right over here and send out an email campaign directly from Propstream. So here's how it goes. The campaign name is just for you to know only. So you can leave that blank or just leave it by itself. Friendly from. So the cool thing about our email campaign is it actually will say your name on there. Instead of say, do not reply, it actually could say Antoine Campbell or Burton Alicando to make it more personal. They can reply back to your email. It's mind-blowing. So rather than saying, oh, go to this website, you can say, hey, reply now if you want me to call you back, right? Subject line. Can spam compliant filter is embedded in this, meaning if you type in, let's say, cash, we're going to warn you not to do that because it's not going to get delivered. So words like cash, words like act now, words like, or even capital letters. If you put in hello in capital letters, these are terms that are going to get flagged. So you can do things like, I have a property you might want. And then click through URL. We can send them directly to your website that you created with us or an outside website. And finally, delivery date. And you can choose a template or start with a blank email template. If you choose a template, we give you a stock photo, but this is what the email template looks like as an example. But yes, you can skip trace with us. You can build your buyers list, skip trace with us, and then establish a campaign and send those emails out to them.
So when you skip trace, it comes with the emails, or you can?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, when you skip trace, your results are shown in the contacts page. And just to kind of show you, emails are provided. So you will get the emails. So yes, you can definitely skip trace with us, capture those emails, and then use our email system to email directly to that.
Wow.
So the last thing I want to share with you guys is the, I don't know how to say this, but I feel like we're all in the middle of a transition because of technology. And I think what's happening is the old and new mindset is coming in. So let me share with you guys what I call the 4 golden rules. And it's a very powerful way of searching properties. In this sense, unlike the traditional search where we chose a list, this kind of flips it upside down a little bit. So what we're doing now is the number 2 and 3 and 4 first. So we're going to just make sure it's off market, has equity and the property preferences that we want. So what I encourage people is if you're in a saturated market, like maybe, if you're in a saturated market, like let's say Phoenix, I can show you exactly how this would work. So let's say you're in Phoenix, it's saturated, everybody's pulling the pre-foreclosures, everybody's pulling the liens. Well, the reason for that is because they're taking the traditional method where it requires you to pull a list. The golden rules is, again, a whole different approach. What it does is it allows you to think outside of the box, which is identify a problem. So in this example, instead of choosing a list first, I'm going to skip that. I'm going to make sure it's off market in the MLS section. So it should just look like before. I'm going to add that level of equity. Maybe it's a 50% in equity this time. And then my property and owner preferences. So I'd like the owner to be maybe living in this house, maybe occupying in the property. So that way, if I knock on the door, they're there. The property characteristics, I'll aim for residential, single family. And then for owner information, we'll do maybe 14 years of ownership by an individual. Okay, so far, 3 of the 4 rules have been applied. The last rule, if you can see here, is the homeowner's situation. Like, again, guys, as I mentioned earlier when we were in the property's details, it has nothing to do with the lists at times. Sometimes it just has to do with the property's characteristics, or it has to do with a situation like something financial. Like in this case, maybe all the people in Phoenix that have 3 mortgages or more. See, while everybody's pulling a vacant list or a lien list or a pre-foreclosure list in Phoenix, which I know they're doing 9 out of 10 times, I don't think anybody's thought about just pulling people with 3 mortgages. Because I know people personally that have more than 1 mortgage, and they always complain about their multiple payments. So why don't we look for that? Look for the people that have multiple payments, that are off market, with the right amount of equity for you to wholesale, and let's go give them a call. So as you can see, this requires nothing or no lists at all. It's just a matter of manipulating the data that we've collected for you. And I couldn't have found these 92 properties with those 3 mortgages if Propstream didn't have that information to begin with. So that's the 4 golden rules. It's a matter of building situations, building problems, because you guys are problem solvers and you go out there and solve problems. So take a step back after you grab a list and refine it and take that approach. Take a step back and just think of problems out there and start building them. So in this case, it could be 3 mortgages. Another problem could be maybe, I've seen this multiple times, a 3-bedroom property with only 1 bathroom that they're sharing. That could be an issue. Have you ever thought about sharing a bathroom with, 3 other people or 4 people in that case? Maybe it's time to upgrade and no one's just reached out to them yet. And the reason why you probably haven't reached out to them is because they're paying their bill. They're not on a pre-foreclosure list. They're not on a lien list. They're answering their mail, so they're not vacant. They're just living with a 1-bathroom scenario for the last 14 years. So think of those scenarios, the things that people go through on a day-to-day basis that don't show up on a public list. And that's the end of my rant here. So Antoine, I want to thank you for giving me the time, guys. Again, these are the 2 biggest things that Propstream has to offer. It's vetting the property and being able to justify your offer using our comps, public records, and MLS records. Whether you show them as is properties. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, your property looks like in a very horrible condition, and here are properties that are being bought as is, just like yours, right? So you can use those comps. And then you can use the MLS comps, the ones with beautiful kitchens and refurbished living rooms and all that stuff, to show your buyers what that distressed property could look like after they buy it and rehab it. So it's just a matter of how you manipulate our data. And don't forget, guys, not only can you use that to vet a property and run comps, but as I just showed you right now, it can also be used to build on and off market leads. And don't forget, we also have cash buyer records in here too. So any wholesalers out there, we got you guys covered. You can use our system to find buyers as well.
So I got a question from Ricky Anderson. He's asking, what is the difference between public and MLS sold homes when comps are concerned? Which one is better for ARV purposes?
There really isn't one that's better or not. I would say, and because of the way that you worded the question, which one's better for ARV purposes, I would lean on the MLS. And here's my reasoning for that. There's no way to know if that price that you're seeing right here that I'm highlighting is an ARV price or an after value price, right? The only way for me to know if that 610 is rehabbed or not is the photos. The photos are indicators that, yeah, that 610 is rehabbed. That 767 right there, fully renovated house from top to bottom, right? That's how you know it's an after repaired value. The thing with public records that I like but can be challenged is the public records will record properties that sold on the market, the MLS, but sometimes they show properties, well, not in this area here. Let me pull up another property as an example here. Let's go to Riley here. I was looking at that earlier. But sometimes they pull off-market transactions. So you're going to be able to see like cash transactions, but with no pictures. Now, I don't know if that cash transaction for $220,000 was an as-is transaction, and that's why it was $220,000. Or maybe this person was like, I want the house before you even list it on the market. So here's $220,000 in cash.
Maybe they hit the Mega Million and paid $220,000 for it, and it's really worth $180,000, but they got the cash.
Exactly. So based on how you worded that question, if you're for ARV purposes, I would say aim for ones that have pictures, because those are the ones that are going to tell you if that 440 was ARV or not. Also, if you don't aim for pictures, then that just requires more research. But look for pictures. That will be the ARV yes or no answer right there for you.
We got another question. I know we got to get out of here in about 8 minutes, so I'm going to try to get as many questions out as I can.
No worries.
Someone asks, is any good niche list for subject to deals except for zombie properties and pre-foreclosures?
Yeah, I would say now that we've introduced the pre-probate list, that's probably a big one. Again, what does pre-probate mean? If you didn't catch it the first time, it's a property where someone has passed away, but their name is still on the title, right? So right now in Raleigh, North Carolina, I'm just grabbing this as an example, we have 2,400 properties where someone's passed away and their name is attached to the property. You said subject to, right? You're going to need a mortgage. So we go into filter and let's make sure they have a mortgage. There you go. So of those 2,400 pre-probate, there's 1,000 of them that still have a mortgage on that property. Now, probably want to talk to an individual, right? So individual or ownership info, individually owned. And then you want to make sure it has off market. So what I'm doing here is exactly the traditional search. It's pre-probate, make sure it's off market, right? It's individually owned. And then in this case, it has a mortgage so that we can do the sub 2. Now, whether you want equity or no equity, we can go to the equity area here and say, okay, we want 30% in equity or more, or the opposite. Maybe we want the ones where there's no equity, like 30% or less. So unfortunately, someone's passed away, left you with a mortgage, and you have 30% or less on that mortgage. And then now you can introduce your sub 2 category. So I would say this is a new niche list because we have that data now. So pre-probate with the mortgage, go for that. And then my only disclaimer there is please be very sensitive to what you're going after. These are people that have had someone that passed away, a loved one. My recommendation is don't even mention it at all. Like just call and say, hey, I'm a local investor, just happen to be, interested in buying properties. Let them tell you what happened. Don't go out. I mean, you wouldn't do that if someone divorced. Hey, I heard someone divorced. Let me buy your house. Obviously, you wouldn't do that with divorces. You don't do that with this at all, period. Just that's my only recommendation or disclaimer there. So great question, by the way.
Here's another great question. What's the best way to determine market research to determine the best areas to target?
Great question. I think that requires using our spreadsheet view, which is this right here. So don't know if you guys can see this little tab right here, but if you click on that, this is what we call spreadsheet view. And I think the zip code and city columns are going to be very important. So let me show you how to find a hot market, okay? You can do it two ways. The first way is to use our analytics. So just say, hey, I'd like to see an area that has grown over the last year. And now we can show you the areas that are red and gaining growth. That's one way to do it. The other way is to actually use the data. And the way that you can do that is follow the money, follow the cash buyers, okay? So you can go to, let's say, Raleigh, North Carolina, go in our filter, look for cash buyers, let's say that bought this year, so January 1st of this year or later, who have multiple properties. Maybe they have 5 or more properties, okay? So we're done. Cash buyers, they bought a property this year. They also have 5 or more properties under their portfolio. Maybe they're an individual. Maybe you want to talk to people, not corporations. When you hit close, you can now use the spreadsheet view I just showed you and break it down by zip code. And now you just follow the zip code with the most results. So in this case, 27601 only had 3 results this year. 27603 had multiple results. If you had one team member, where would you put that team member? In 26701 or 26703? That's how you can.
Let me ask you a question, Burton. I know I got about 3 minutes left. What is the possibility can developers take this and make it like, you know, a filter or something? They take this concept, right? Just like you did most of your list, and then say, you know what, this is the best zip code for Charlotte based on the cash buyers and how many, you know, houses they own. And maybe create like a score system. So we want cash buyers that score from 0 to 100 based on data points, how many houses they own, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so well, in that sense, we don't really have that level yet, but the best way to do it here is just pretty much eyeing it. I mean, you can save the filter right now here at the top right, so that way we can notify every time a new buyer shows up in this zip code with 5 or more properties. But really, at that point, it's because we're still developing some other stuff, which I can't get into. But the only way right now is to manually do it, organize it, and then capture. Well, our system does allow you to search up to 5 zip codes. So I would probably just capture the 5 hottest zip codes, and then from there, search them one at a time.
If you can't get it to, can you at least tell us, is this something that's on you guys' radar? Like, because, you know, the number one thing most investors struggle with is, where do I start? Like, what is the best place to, you know, do my marketing?
Correct. And I think there's really isn't a way right now in this current state, this current version, for us to provide that information. So right now, there really is only 2 ways to do that. It would be the heat map to see where the growth is. And potentially that's where probably all the rehabbers are at. So if you see something that's red, well, there's been growth over the last year. So that's probably an area that's being, you know, renovated. But again, I prefer, just for peace of mind, to actually look at solid data. And so in this case, that's why I'm looking at actual cash transactions. Like, I want to see what actually sold this year where people had more than 5 property, because I want to go where the big fish is going, right? I don't want to go where the guys with 1 or 2 properties are buying. I want to go where the guys that have big portfolios are going, because if they're in that zip code, then that's where we need to focus on getting our leads at. Once we get a lead, here are the buyers that we can promote our product to.
All right. Well, any more feedback you can give us before you get on out of here?
No, nothing really. Again, the 2 biggest thing, if anything, you got from me today is use our data to talk with confidence and ask questions about the data. Ask questions about the property characteristics, because that could be the other reason they want to sell that you don't know about. Remember, don't overthink comping. It's not about finding a perfect number. It's about, how do I justify my offer, right? Because homeowners are always going to want full price. Show them why you can't give them full price. Show them these pictures, right? Show them what an after repair value looks like with their same characteristics, and explain to them, I can't give you that price. I can give you the halfway point price, right? So don't overthink the comps. Use the data to talk with confidence. And then when you're using our system to generate leads, remember 2 ways to go about it. You can choose a list and refine it. And once you're done with that, just sit back and think of problems people are going through, or day-to-day situations like, you know, pulling out too many mortgages and then having to pay over the course of how many years that you have to pay. Right. Pre-probates with a mortgage. Just think of those scenarios. Senior owners in a 2-story building would be another one. The 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom scenario. These are things that you're not going to find on a public list that sources cannot get for you, but because we've put the data together, you can finally do that. So that's what I would recommend. If you got anything from me today, those are the biggest key points.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you once again. You coming on. I'm gonna stick around to answer any questions that people want. I love Propstream. I've been using Propstream. One of the things, like, listen, I'm not perfect. One of the things that I just learned that I'm about to dive straight into, so I get off this call, is that email. Like to be able to email your cash buyers and consistently build your list while you're looking for deals, it's a powerful thing, guys. So I'm definitely
absolutely. And I'm back. I'll be back. Me and Antoine, guys, we have a few more dates scheduled in front of us. So, I mean, I didn't even talk about the mobile app. I didn't even talk about the list automator. So, you guys, so guys, make sure you tune in, register for the next event. I'd like to show you how you can use our apps to our mobile app to drive for dollars and to run comps on the go and skip trace and send postcards. So tune in for our next one. All right, guys?
Yeah, it's going to be soon. So we're going to probably the next one we go over the mobile app and everything. I'm bringing Apple on board. I know you got to get on out of here. We got some announcements to make for our audience. Guys, if you're not using the Propstream, if you don't have the Propstream app, let us know. We'll get you the 7-day free trial. If you're on this call and you want to kind of like, if you already signed up for Propstream, but you know you didn't sign up on no one else's affiliate, reach out to us so we can see if we can get you underneath our affiliate. But other than that, I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Hey, Burton, I know you got to go. I appreciate you.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much for having me, Antoine.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second. Any questions you guys may have, put your question in the comments and I'll answer them. Sorry about that, guys. You know, when your wife calls, you answer. You better answer that phone or you get in trouble. But listen, guys, we want to answer any questions that may be not answered. You know what I mean? This is the Propstream Masterclass. We're making this a series. So we'll be back again probably next week or definitely before the month. And we're going to be teaching you guys how to work the mobile app, how to take advantage of the driving for dollar feature. Listen, I'm excited because I just learned something new. Like, I didn't know Propstream. I use Propstream all day, every day, and I didn't even know you can run your email campaign. So now I'm like, yo, I got a way I can email my buyers because we're trying to build a big buyers database. Let me ask you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, did you feel like tonight's masterclass was of value to you? Scale of 1 to 10. Man, just put 1 to 10. 10. Great. Listen, guys, we're having our deal mastery. You know, I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible lock up their first deal, right? That's what they call me, Antoine, the REI Giver. We're having our deal mastery class coming up towards the end of the month too, and then we move into a 3-day event. But we mainly want to make people get in our deal mastery class because we want to show you and give you the tools that you need to close your first deal. If you feel like you haven't closed your first deal yet, reach out to us. Guys, if you need a virtual assistant, maybe you're struggling. A lot of you guys on here have full-time jobs. You got careers. We got people on here that's overseas right now. Shout out to my man, Ricky, overseas right now, trying to soak in the information and run his wholesale business because he believes in the wholesale business model. And he hired us to help him, and I'm really proud of that. You know, we take our clients serious, you know, and we try our best to deliver a flawless service. So like I said, if you need a VA, text us 202-335-3322. If you need something a little more detailed, like you want somebody to manage your VAs, if you want somebody to call and text your campaigns, we do have a program called Lead Factory. We can help you out with that. Apple, am I missing anything? We definitely want to ask some questions.
I'm typing the emails and the text number that they could reach us in anytime so that we could cater to their needs and if they have questions or concerns.
Yes. There go Rick, my man Ricky right there. Let me somebody said what are some your best niche list to pull from Propstream besides the usual? Like for me, man, I like to do you know, vacant absentee owners, 10 years of ownership, with bankruptcy, or I like to do vacant absentee owner, and then we bring that bad credit list over into Propstream because they don't have the bad credit data, and then we work the list automated, and then we download everything as high equity. We only take out the high equity people that's on the bad credit. Powerful list. If you do that, I'm telling you guys, you will get some deals on the contract. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my YouTube channel and watch the bad credit list video. Just Google Antoine Campbell bad credit list. It will pop up, and I promise you, watch it about 2-3 times. Go through exactly what I showed you, and I guarantee you'll get leads rolling in like it's no tomorrow. Clifford, shout out to Clifford. He closed over 20 deals, you know, with Propstream or already, I think. Let me see. I know for a fact there was a ton of questions we couldn't get to. My guy Bert, he's on a tight schedule. I tried looking for a land plot for a folio number today, which was all I had. Well, if you can find something close to that land, um, if you can find like something really close and then you can zoom in. Once you hover over top of that plot and click it, Propstream will give you the information. You just gotta have the actual number to the actual land. So every piece of land in America got an actual number. And if you know the number, it should work. How often is the data updated? Propstream aggregates data from multiple sources, guys. They use a lot of different sources to bring in their data. So some of their data comes straight from the county records. Some of their data come from third-party people. It all depends on when the county decides to release that information, and it depends on when the aggregates go down there to get the data or pull the data from wherever they're getting the data from. But rest assured, Propstream has some of the freshest updated data. If your county not sending out the data, most likely Propstream not gonna have it. That's just the way it is. If you can't get it straight from the county, you're not getting it nowhere else. Oh, what's the best way to turn an area to target in Propstream? The easiest thing to do is just go Google your go to Google right now and say cities in Georgia by population. Cities in Georgia by population. And you want to target cities between populations between 40 and 100,000 people, right? And then just pick a list and maybe something you're familiar with. Maybe you got some cousins, some friends there, and just pick something where from a logistical standpoint, from a boots on the ground standpoint, you got that covered because you got people there. I'm just going back up, reading the questions. What's a good dollar I recommend? Honestly, bro, there's a couple of good dollars. We actually use CallTools. I heard some good things about Batch Dollar. I never used them before, but we use CallTools. We used to use Mojo when I first started out, but from a transparency perspective and training your team, you don't really get that much. So I like CallTools because in real time I can listen to the calls and give feedback. How do you find boots on the ground? Boots on the ground is two ways you can do it. You can just look in your phone and figure out what family and friends you know live there. That's the easiest way to do it. Then you can use BPO photo flow. We go look to get your pictures, and then you can just partner in JV with other wholesalers that you trust. Right? That's the easiest way to get boots on the ground. But we definitely going to work on part 2. I'm going to have Apple set up something for the masterclass. We're going to be talking about how to use the app, Propstream app, and how to drive for dollars. We're going to go through that. That's going to be probably next week. I can see, can I get Burton back on next Thursday? My whole thing is going through Propstream step by step and being able to master it so that you can justify spending that $99 a month. I know what it's like to have a software that you don't understand or don't use, and you're, actually not using it, then you're ready to cancel it. I got probably fucking $2,000 worth of software just like that right now. So that's the reason why we're doing this masterclass, to go through everything step by step from top to bottom so you can see that Propstream is a good tool to have in your business. I used Zencar before in the past. I just didn't like it. So, Yeah, shout out to Ricky. He's one of our Business in a Box customers. We basically set up everything, and he's on his way. And I see great things for him. So Ricky, man, is doing his thing. I appreciate him. Let me make sure I ain't missing no questions before we get on out of here.
While you're doing that, I just want to invite everybody. If you have your VAs with you, we have a Saturday class this coming Saturday. We will
Yeah, Saturday
be
school.
cold calling, correct?
Yes, we're talking about cold calling. If you got a VA through my company, you're more than welcome to come. If you didn't get a VA through my company, sign up for a VA, and then you're more than welcome to come. But we do the Saturday school to help enhance the VAs because, as you know, training is an ongoing thing. You can't just train somebody for 2 weeks and think that's it. So it's an ongoing thing. Come on through the Saturday school. We'll take good care of you. Any more questions before we get out of here?
There's one question here. What platform do you use for texting? Yes.
We use the Smarter Contact. You can put the I think it's co9.com/Smarter Contact, if I'm not mistaken. And if you can't get that link, then go to REIGIVER SMS.com.
No worries. Let me post it here in the chat. Definitely, Ricky. I'll have Janet in the Saturday class. Carmina will definitely send you an invite to the Saturday class.
So David said, when you pull people pre-probate list, if you send a mail, who would get the mail? Most likely, that mail would probably be forwarded. Most people that's deceased, they get their mail forwarded to the person who's overcharged of their stuff. So either somebody's living in the house, or the mail is actually forwarded to a relative or a person who's in charge of the estate. So they still get the mail, especially if you're mailing as if you don't know, like Burton said, they're deceased. Then they'll probably say, hey, yeah, we're thinking about selling, blah, blah, blah.
I'm not sure if you were able to answer this, Anton. I have Zen call. Do your VAs use this?
Yeah, we don't use Zen-Call. I said it earlier. We used it before, and I honestly didn't like it. But here's a tip, guys. If you're using a pre-probate list, the easiest thing to do is to take that address of that person and put them in Truth, Truth Finder. It's like $15 a month, I think. And what's going to happen is Truth Finder is going to give you a full report, like if that person been in court before, been sued, who's the cousins, their Facebook page, the next of kin. It's going to give you a whole like deep skip trace on that person. And you got to get on the phone and just call the relatives or the next of kin or somebody of that sort to see if you can make a deal with them. Yes, Saturday school, like I said, if you're a virtual assistant watching, or if you have a VA through us and you want to come to the Saturday school, hey, class is back in session, summer break is over with. We'll be rocking and rolling. We'll start back up with cold calling, and then we'll go from there. But listen, guys, do me a favor. Take this live right now, tag me, screenshot it, tag me on Instagram stories, CEO929. Tag me on Instagram stories. I'll make sure I send you 1,000 leads. I send you 1,000 leads of your choice. We'll send them to you probably tomorrow or over the weekend. That's what we're running. We used to put people on with leads. We're about to get back to it. So I send you 1,000 leads of your choice. Tag me right now in the IG. Screenshot this and let everybody know you was here. Everything was great. Give us your honest opinion. If it was trash, tell me it's trash. That's cool. If it was great, let us know. So that way we can continue to work with you guys. We're going to be getting our CallTools guy on the CallTools. We're going to be doing free training for CallTools. Let me tell you why we need this free training from CallTools, because a lot of people don't know how to work the dollars. A lot of people are struggling. So as a VA company, I feel it is our responsibilities, if we recommend you softwares and tools, that we get them people on these calls and we get your questions answered and we get you the best training as best as possible, so that way you can know what you're doing. We're going to take this video and add it to your portal as we build out our Propstream Masterclass series. Like I said, today we just went over Propstream overview. Next week, we're going to go over the actual mobile phone app, and we're going to show you how to drive for dollars and all that great stuff. And then I'm going to see, can I get him to get into details, how to build cash buyers list and how to email from there, because I think that's a game changer. So, like I said, continue to drop your questions. We'll probably stay on for about another 3 more minutes, and then we'll get on out of here. What do you guys think about this new platform, this software we're using? Is the audio was clear? Did you like it? Can you see? Was signing up easy? Like, just give us your feedback.
Okay, one more question for this. Is there a master's email list of other investors on the team I can have access to just ask basic questions sometimes?
Wait, is there a master email list of other investors on the team? I'm confused.
I think
Thank you,
that would
Joshua.
be your REI masterclass when you have your group of
Oh
business
yeah. So
owners.
we're gonna really get the II Masterclass back up and going. We right now we're focusing on the deal mastery, and then the ultimate goal is once you go to deal mastery, you sign up for the II Masterclass, and basically my number one job is everybody who comes to the program get a deal on the contract and make money. We use Easy Skip Tracing, EasySkipTracing.com. Go over there now, sign up for a free account, and you can do single skip traces and as well as bulk skip tracing. Make sure I'm not missing any questions. What's your process for reaching out to leads? Text first, then call. It depends. So we like to text first, then we cold call. But now the Smarter Contact got this new feature where it lets you know if the numbers are landlines, and you can just take out the landlines before you even text and don't waste any credits. So yeah, we text first. We like to text anybody who don't respond to the text message, then we put them in a queue to be actually cold call. Yes, is there affiliate link for what? Which one, Joshua? Yeah, Easy Skip, that's the company that we actually own. So just go over there and sign up. Just sign up, create your account, man. You can manage your own list in there. You can pull your skip trace yourself. It's not like you gotta send it over to somebody and wait 2 days to get it back. You go in there, you upload your list, you add your card to there, and in a matter of minutes, you get your results. You download your list and go over there, man, and just test it out. Test it out, try it, and I guarantee you'll love it. Yeah, so we use the Smarter Contact. I think we put the that in there. So Smarter Contact. Guys, a lot of you asking a lot of questions. I want you guys to come to the Deal Mastery event. We're having one at the end of the month. It's a $49 ticket. $49 ticket. I'm telling you, come. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it worth your while, right? And it's not about selling you anything, guys. It's about actually helping you. If you're serious, if you're beyond serious, cash out me right now, half of whatever $49 is, and I'll make sure you get a seat in there. Just cash out me in the notes, put your name, and I'll make sure you get a seat in there. Once you cash out me, then you text. What's a good number they can text to? This is only for right now. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching here live, this is only for right now. So half of $49, I guess, is $27. I don't know. No. 49. I don't even know. It's been a long day, guys. Somebody tell me what's half of $49. I'm burnt out.
The $49 is, I believe, the early bird promo for our ticket. It's $599 for the three
Exactly.
for the three workshop.
Yeah, this is for the one day at the end of the month workshop, though. $24. Text me. Cash out me right now. I don't even know my cash out. If you're serious, cash out. Um, I don't even use this damn thing. Oh, I know I put my Novak 2019. So $ Novak. Cash out me $24. We'll add you to the Deal Master event. So one day event. And then once you get to the Deal Master event, we have something else for you. You decide to go through that, that's cool. But I guarantee that with the information from the Deal Mastery, you'll be able to do a deal. Right? We're keeping it as simple as possible. If you're serious about getting to the next level, especially if you haven't closed your first deal, text it $24. Tickets normally $49, right? Then we have another event that's $4.99, right? So we're not even worried about that. We're just trying to get you to the point that you're comfortable getting deals. But once you get to the point where you're ready to come to the other event, come to the other event. But yeah, just cash out me right now if you're dead serious, and we'll go from there. If not, no harm, no foul. We'll be back here again next week to talk about the Propstream app. What is the $20 for? It's for access to the Deal Mastery event that we're doing. Anybody who haven't closed their first deal, instead of paying $49 for a regular ticket, the early bird ticket, you will pay half of that. I didn't even know what half was, $24, and you will literally get access to that. Once you pay that, cash out me the $24, then I want you to text me so we can get you into the database so we can add you as a seat. And that way, yes. So if you got deals right now, anybody who got deals they need sold, we have a company called Dispo Authority where we sell people deals. Let us know, text us so we can get you a buyer. We do JVs. Shout out to my man Edward. Edward, do me a favor, brother. Edward, actually, no, I'm slow. If I got your name, I got your email already. Edward Jackson, write him down so we can add him to the list. You know. Yeah, Justice. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you the number of the text. Actually, yeah, just text the 202-335 number. But if you got a deal need to be sold, email me right now, admin@dispoauthority.com. Admin@dispoauthority.com. If you got deals, even if you don't have deals right now, but you're looking to lock up deals, keep that email saved. Send us over with the information. We'll take a look at it. If it makes sense, we'll start to work on sending it out to the massive buyer list that we accumulate. If we get your buyer, you know the deal. We JV with you. Yes, and we'll start sending out the list. And once you tag me, man, we'll start sending out the list. Boom, we'll go from there. But if you want to come to the Deal Master event, we have it towards the end of the month. What day is that event falling on again, Apple?
Again, for the Deal Mastery,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be emailing the list for all these participants. For that, we changed some of the
Okay.
information on it.
So yeah, so like I said, cash out me. And if you don't have Cash App, just text us, reach out to us. Apple should make sure it should send you some type of payment link or something. This is only for the people here because I see how hungry you guys are. All these amazing questions, all of the attentiveness. Like we had almost 64 people at one point on the call, and for us to put this out the day before, I text you yesterday like, hey Apple, I'm trying to do this masterclass, and she put it together. Man,
In
you're
just one day.
together in one
Email
day.
blasting and everything. Yes.
Yeah, so I appreciate her. I appreciate being able to give you guys the information because I know for a fact if you go ahead and start critiquing your list, like the thing with the 3 open leans, that alone right there is going to set you apart from a lot of people. So I'm just telling you, take the information and utilize it. And like I said, if you need anything, man, don't hesitate to text our number 202-335-3322. Man, we're coming back next week. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see can I get Burton to commit right now. Because I like this masterclass we're doing. I think it's gonna be about a 5-part series, and then we're just gonna piece it together.
Contrary, you can definitely reach me at the support email that I just included in the chat. No worries, and we appreciate your participation here. It's a short notice, but you are with us, and thank you so much.
Yeah. So just text us if you can't. If you don't have cash out, no, everybody don't have cash out. Don't feel comfortable with cash out. That's perfectly okay. Text us so we can get you probably an invoice or another way to send the money. It's only for today after 12 o'clock tonight. Don't hold me accountable to us. The price will go back over to marketing and they will take care of the market. I don't really participate in that stuff. So, but I just wanted to help you. Any last final questions? If you got a question you want me to bring you up on the stage, put me. I do 2 more questions where I just invite you to the stage and answer your questions in real time before we get on out of here. Just put me on and I add you to the stage. Make sure I ain't missing no questions.
Were you able to answer? Is there a way to access FSBO leads in Propstream?
Oh no, there's not a way to access for sale by owner leads in Propstream. You just need to go to like forsalebyowner.com or something like that to see. My IG information is CEO929. Yes. If you're interested in that, just DM me. And if you DM me, I can hop on the phone really quickly with you to discuss your options. We don't really like offer it publicly, but if you're interested, we got something for you. How many leads you should pull just for one person? 2,500 a week is good. So about 10,000 leads will get you a month worth of calling at 500 calls a day. You really typing that fast, Apple?
I already have it prepared.
Oh, I would say, good God Almighty.
Okay. Yeah. Well, definitely, Ricky. You can. It's a series of every other Saturday, the for the VAs, and of course, you could also observe and see what we're doing there for extra skills enhancement for our
Exactly.
VAs.
All right, cool. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Like I said, Cash App, Novak 2019 for the $24 ticket after 12 o'clock tonight. don't hold me accountable for that. It's gone. But other than that, if you need me, text me. Anybody's interested in anything, DM me with IG. I'll be at my office about an hour. I got some stuff I gotta do, and I will be looking forward to talking to whoever needs something from us. But other than that, man, talk to you guys later. Appreciate you. See you back next week. We're gonna lock in a date again, and we're gonna. I'll go. Listen, guys, I want at least 100 people here next week. So if we can invite people and other people and spread the wealth and let everybody know about this, this would be greatly appreciated. All right, Apple, appreciate you. Thank you. Let's go, man.
Okay.
Let's go.
Thank you, people. Bye bye.